All right, so hope you're doing well, and you're probably here because something made you curious about this video. I haven't even made the title yet, but the title I'm thinking right now is going to be something around the lines of living in love versus fear, and living in the present versus planning. So what do I mean by those things? It's huge because let me give you a background before I dive right in. So when I suffered, and I use suffer as quite a pointed word purposely, when I suffered from anxiety, I used to think that there was something out there that I had to be fearful of. And the thing is, it became such a challenge that I feared the fear itself. And I feared basically going into situations where I felt inadequate, or I felt not ready, or I felt like I'm uncomfortable. I wanted to avoid all of that. So it became a fear eventually, because I felt so much shame in certain situations. I didn't want to feel that again, right? It's like if someone was to poke you or pinch you, or let's say stab you, let's get a bit more extreme, and it hurt, you probably wouldn't want to see that person because you might think they're going to do it again. But the mind is so clever, it will create so many ways to avoid mental pain because it's linked into who we really are. Physical pain is different, but the mental pain, it goes deep. It goes really deep. So I was living in fear for a long time, thinking through everything. I thought I had to analyze things. I thought I had to control everything, because then that meant that I was mitigating the chances of, facing the thing I didn't want to face, which was the pain, the being uncomfortable. So living in fear, it might not even be as extreme as you think. You might be like, no, I'm not really living in fear. But are you living in a place where you're fearless and you are doing whatever you want to do, regardless of what your mind says? Because if you're not, then perhaps you are living in fear, but you just don't know it. You're just not aware of the level of fears you're playing with and the impact of it. I knew the impact because I knew I wasn't living my best life, my greatest life. So things started changing. And I knew I had to change this. So when I talk about fear, I'm talking about not doing everything you want to do. Even if it's just a tiny thing that you're stopping yourself from, there is still fear at play there. If you're analyzing and thinking about something, predicting the worst possible scenario, there's fear at play there. You might not think it's fear, it might not sound like fear, but there is something going on there. Sometimes in an unconscious way. And let's go to what do I mean by living in love instead of fear. So love is this word that's often like misunderstood, or not even misunderstood, perhaps just taken in one way. Like love is about relationships. That's one way, of course. Love is about relationships. Love is about the kids that you might have, or the nephews or nieces, or whatever, right? People. That's one way of looking at love. That's amazing. But what I'm talking about here is being in love. Just full stop. Not with this, not with that, just feeling love. And what that really means is this fullness inside of yourself. It's this mode of, I'm good. I'm actually good. And it can play out into acts of kindness, acts of confidence, acts of power. Because there's something else going through you that's not even allowing you to get stopped by the mind or the fears that I spoke about earlier. It's overpowering that. For example, if I was to do a talk now versus before it would be all about me in my head, so worried. How will I look? What will they think of me? What shall I say? How can I make sure that I'm prepared? Those are not bad things, by the way. But now it's more like, how can I be with the people that I'm speaking to? What would be useful for them? How are we similar? How can we make this an open space so it's comfortable for not just me, but for everyone, right? What would people get out of this if this was the best investment of their time? What might I learn from connecting with them? You see the difference. It's being in love with what I'm doing. And that connects to the other point I was going to talk about, which is presence versus being future orientated. Because if I'm able to be present, and I think most people, if you're able to be present, then you allow yourself to get out of that place of thinking about all possibilities. How will it go? Again, like the question I asked before, how will it go? What will this mean if it goes well? Can I predict what people might say? Can I predict the dangers? Yeah, how can I predict? How can I prepare for those dangers now? Let me plan that. What will I do in a few years? What if this doesn't go well? You see, it's just analyzing and predicting things. And that creates so much tension in the body because now I'm in a place where I'm here right now, but my mind is going somewhere else. And it's living in the future. And it's living in the fears. Because do you know why? Because the mind is predicting the future fears, the future disasters that could happen. So now you're not just in fear, you're in fear of the future fears as well, not just, what's happening right now. So it can become challenging, right? So what can you do instead? So like I said, firstly, go into that place of love. Secondly, be present. Because if you are present with love, you are fully there. You are not worried about what this means. Because you will only learn that if you are fully there. And if you are fully there, you can have a better now, which I guess means a better future, right? It means you are your 100% self. And that just means that you're going to get the best out of this situation, which means so does the next, so does the next, so does the next. So it just adds on. And these miniature nows add up to a future now, right? It's almost like an exponential curve. It's like if I was to be my best in, let's say, a sports game, and I score a goal, awesome. And then I'm just there playing. And that goal has allowed me to get momentum now. So now I'm playing better. So then I get another goal afterwards. And then that drives, maybe after the game, I feel great. So then the next game comes and I'm so full from the past successes, but I'm using it in the nows. I'm using them in the nows. So it just adds up, it collects, right? And it creates something. So this thing about being present is not just about relaxing, it's less like skating on the surface. It's not just about relaxing. It's the superpower because it creates the best future. And if you're able to access love at the same time, that means you get out of this thinking and psychological game of, what do I do? And how do I make myself look good? Or how do I get this thing for myself? Now you're just connected to what makes us all humans, what makes us all this experience that you're in. So what comes up for you as you think about that? I'm sure something's going on right now. And I want to say some more. To talk about maybe some ways you can get into this. You might be thinking, yeah, Raj, that sounds great. How do I do that? Here's the how. Or where's the how, you're probably thinking. And I'll give you a sneak peek. Because the thing is, this is something I can't give to someone. It's only something that I can, almost like prod. I can poke around and allow you to create this for yourself. But here's what I think is useful. So starting with going from fear to heart to love. And the thing is, when your body is fully relaxed, there is no way that you can be overly tense and scared. Your body's fully relaxed. So use the body. And this is like most of my experience with anxiety. I use the body. I only use the body, that's the thing. And I overuse the body. Don't overuse the body. Don't beat yourself up. Don't punish yourself. It's not about punishing. It's about using this tool, this excellent machine we have to create something like a hammer. It's a tool. So use the body. Get into the body. If you're feeling tension, you can use that energy and channel it. The things I like to do are, just some body weight exercises. Yoga is amazing because it literally moves energy around your body. Some breathing exercises. You can run if you want to. I did a lot of running in my past and I don't do much anymore. I did a lot of weightlifting because I had so much tension accumulating constantly. So I did that to get it. I thought it was helping me to get the tension away. And of course it did in moments, but I wasn't aware of why I was doing it. I was just aggressively lifting things. So use the body, number one. And that means your physiology will change. But then you still might be feeling tense. You might get back into your head like I used to do. So meditation is another amazing thing to do. And I'm not saying to use these things as cures or escapism, because that's not where I'm going with this. Like I said before, it's a tool. It's a tool to get you connected into that love state. And here's where it gets fun, because I've learned you can manipulate the chemistry inside of you by using emotions, tapping in consciously to emotions. And I'm not talking about these emotions that randomly come and hit us and we're like feeling sad and whatever. I'm talking about consciously doing it for yourself. And here's one thing, like gratitude is awesome. Using gratitude as a tool to create an emotional response does something to you inside. It opens that heart center. It opens those gateways to feeling this love state. Gratitude. Compassion also. Compassion is huge. Just thinking about someone else that you really like in your life, and then even strangers. There's levels and different ways to do this. I'm not going to go into this now, but compassion for others. It's a huge part of Buddhism, for example. And they use compassion to allow themselves to connect to love. So we're just using these tools, right? All of these things that have been around for ages, using them. Compassion, gratitude. And another one that can be used is forgiveness. And this one's not as easy as the other ones, perhaps. But when you release something and you are forgiving yourself or others or anything, any situation, when you are able to release and let that go, your physiology changes again and you connect to something deeper. You get out of that swirling in your head. I'm not saying all of this is easy and it's like click your fingers and magically you're bursting with with angelic vibes. No, but these are some things that can help. Writing has been great for me. Reflecting and writing down things, speaking to someone, connecting to someone that you really enjoy, and feeling a real connection to them, not this like, oh yeah, what you've been up to, and just surface level nonsense. Have a real conversation, and that allows you to train the muscle of love and create these systems, right? Because like I said earlier, there's no way I can tell you exactly what to do right now, because it's generic, right? I haven't spoken to you directly and gone into your world. This is what I do with some clients. I'll go into their world, help them build these things based around who they are. So try and figure out what would work for you. And that creates a mechanism, because you know that you can feel love. So it's just now reverse engineering this into things you can do and ways you can connect to it. And then the more you do it, the more you are accustomed to this state. So you're able to tap into it quicker. And that's what it's been like for me. I'm able to tap into this a lot quicker now. So that's fear to love. It's me to we. That's a good way that stuck for me to think about it. You can call it spiritual, because you're really letting go of the mental, psychological part of yourself in a way, and you're connecting to something deeper. That part that everyone has. And people think this is like something that only yogis can sense. No, you don't need to go sit in a cave. No, everyone can feel these emotions. It's just about consciously doing it more. That's all, right? It's like if you go to the gym for the first time, it's going to be hard, but the more you do it, the more you become it. And that connects really nicely with the presence part. So future versus present. To do that again, being in the now. And you can do this in so many ways. People find it hard to be present, but you are going in and out of presence constantly. You just don't know it sometimes. Washing dishes. That could be called mindful dishwashing. Doing certain things, you're going into that pure presence because you're forced to. So instead, now, like I said before, consciously create activities that work around you that bring you into that presence. And the thing is, you can't expect to be in this Buddha state where you don't feel or think anything. Like, don't even try and aim for that. Maybe that will come one day with time, but for most people, you don't need to do that. So just work on getting present and wherever that is for you. Because the future, like another question I get a lot is the future. We want to have a great future. So how can you be in the present, Raj? So is that a paradox, Raj? And I say, no, not really. Because like I said earlier, your future is just these micro moments of presence added up. So you can have something you want to aim for, but you are not letting your present get distracted and like you're not going into the future and thinking, how is it going to work out? You know, I need to work all of this out. No, you know where it is and you're just going towards it. It's like if you were a captain of the ship, you know where the ship is going. You set sail and you say, okay, I'm going there. Awesome. That's where I want to go. But you keep yourself open to what's going to happen along the way. Perhaps along the way, you meet some stormy seas, or you might see some amazing islands that you might want to stop off at some point. But the thing is, you just don't stop. Like, would the captain not have set off because he was worried about if he's going to get there or not? How would he know until he sets off? So having a place you want to go, but then just working in the now, constantly in the now, towards that place. And like I said, if you are in the now, you become this like flexible person who isn't so narrow-minded about have to get there. Something might change along the way. You might evolve. You might say, no, I want to go here now. I want to go up here now because look how far I've come. That momentum. So that's why I think it's so important to be living in the now with some vision for the future, but not being attached to it, being open, being at sea and saying it's okay to stop off at that island for a while. You know, you don't need to have everything planned because that can create anxiety. So love and presence instead of fear and over planning. Because which one sounds more fun? Like I'm sure the fear part you're getting is not more fun than the love part. But does it sound more fun to plan and have everything perfectly laid out before you set off? Or does it feel more fun to just work really hard every day? So hard that each day you go to bed with a smile on your face. And actually, perhaps hard is not even the right word. You just go to bed with a smile on your face, knowing you've done your best and you've had a good balancing life as well. This is not about, you know, pushing yourself to be a maniac. I know I am sometimes because I'm passionate about what I do. And I think that's the key. It's about doing what you feel driven by And even including all of the little jobs that don't feel as fun, the main thing is you have set course and you are just watching the sea as you go. And every day you go to sleep reflecting on your day, saying, it's been a good day because of a few of these things I've done today. I've moved forward in a tiny way. I've made a little step. And if you're doing that while feeling love, you know, those amazing feelings, and it doesn't feel like I'm in a nightmare. And I'm not, and again, like, I'm not saying there's not going to be times where there's stormy seas. This will happen. We have a mind, right? And it's trying to protect us, really and truly. It's trying to protect us. It's trying to get us to where we want to go without any danger. It's like a safety system. It's like a alarm system in your house. It's just trying to make sure that all of the danger spots are covered. So what if you're okay with that? What if it was just okay to have an alarm system, but realizing you're not the alarm system? You're the person inside the house. You're the captain. You're not the guy on board the ship who has the long, you know, I don't know what you call it, but the long telescope kind of thing who's looking out for danger. So that's all I want to say for now. I hope that's been useful. Let me know if it's been useful, because this has been a huge shift for me. It wasn't like this before. It's just helped me to really work in a way that doesn't feel like it's overwhelming me. And I'm not saying don't work hard. I'm not saying don't have the difficult, uncomfortable situations, because they will come. They're going to happen. I'm just saying don't let them stop you. Get through them. You will. So I'll leave you with that. With the feelings of love driving you. And really, just to underline it now, really love is just being authentic, being in your true spirit, really. It's not like a love movie where, you know, yeah, it's not that. It's just being completely authentic, completely full, completely yourself. It's yourself before the mind tells you not. And in presence, you are able to connect to that best self. And like I said before, you can manipulate yourself to get there. You can become an alchemist. We're a chemical machine that can be played with. And that's been the thing, that's been the work I've been doing on myself for the past, for many years, let's say, alchemizing reactions in my body, using my emotions, using my mind, using my spirit, all of that to create these ways of living and playing the game of life as well. So, like I said, hope you enjoyed that. And any questions, any thoughts you have after hearing this, let me know. I want to know what comes up for you, because I'm sure if you've listened to all of this, there's at least one thought coming through. So my invitation is just one question. What are you going to take away after listening to this?